I had the scissors. Where are they? Hey garden friends, welcome back to Not Quaint Homesteading, East K Garden. I'm coming to you on the second day of spring. It is a beautiful day out here, very mild temps, and I am also excited, as I know many of us are, for spring to be officially here, and can't say in full effect yet, but definitely officially here. Today I'm going to be in the garden taking care of some things, and I wanted to bring you guys along, of course. So I have a couple of things I need to set up, just like some of my tomatoes. I'm going to be planting some more tomatoes, and then I'll be transitioning some things out so that I can get some other things up potted. I'll probably not do everything in this one sitting with you guys, but it's just a little bit of insight for what's ahead in terms of getting the garden ready, because we are going to be in the 70s consistently starting in like a day or two, and from that point on we just know that the garden is going to explode. So I want to have everything where it needs to be, you know, ready to take in the sun, get these long days happening so that we can get our harvest growing and bountiful. If this is your first time stopping by the channel and you're a gardening enthusiast, you love a good gardening journey, or if you're a gardener yourself looking for community support, definitely hit the subscribe button, comment down below, let's engage and have some fun around this gardening thing. So I'm going to start. I have some tomato cages that I want to get put around some of my romas that I already planted, and then I'm actually going to be trying out a hack that I saw on YouTube, and it's for watering grow bags. Now, whether or not this is going to work, I don't know. It is not a long-term solution for me, but it is something right now to kind of test and see if I can use it maybe through our first summer gardening season. It is going to be impossible for me at the point that we get to, like, you know, really late in spring and summer to be watering the full garden in these garden bags every single day by hand. You know, is it something I would do if I had to? Absolutely. But I like to work smarter, not harder. So I am trying to get out ahead of that, because, you know, when we get into that space, it is going to almost be necessary to water every single day, sometimes twice a day. And the size of the garden at that point, I think, would be just way too large. You know, with where we are right now, if I'm hand watering, it can take me a good half hour to get, you know, a good watering going for all of these containers that we have. The I think, what we got, 3 beds now, and then, you know, all of the plants that are down at the other end of my patio. So I really want to make sure that I have some solutions in place that will help me out, put a little bit more time back into my time bank when it comes to that season, so we can focus on harvesting and preserving at that point, and then, you know, just making it a better, I guess, environment for the plants, where they're not getting, like, you know, they're not drying out, being shocked with saturation and that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get into this garden work, because it is plentiful and we just have to get this stuff done. So I have these little tomato cages that I'm putting up. I have one already that I think that one is a 42 inch. These are 19 inches. I probably will end up swapping these out. I'm not sure yet, for something a little bit taller, not quite that big, but I'm pretty sure there's one in between. I can't tell if that's 42 or 54, but I may end up using these for like some of the pepper plants, but I'm not sure yet. But I do need something to have around the Roma tomatoes, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put those in. So they have something to support them when they come up. I also wanted to show you guys this. This is what we wanted to build for the 3rd bed, and this is how, like, quite a few of my other beds are going to be built as well. So this actually lifts up, so much easier to do this. My husband built a little kind of like wood structure thing here to hook into place. How did that go? Oh, here it goes. Learning how to do this for the first time. And then this would actually hook into this little thing. That way, like, if a gust of wind comes by, you can just put this on. That one is not. There we go. It doesn't like push that completely over the top or something, even though I think that's a little too heavy for that to even happen. But like, how cool is that? So I can plant things in here. I'm going to be purchasing some tulle fabric to put over that. We'll kind of like nail it down and do what we have to do, and then I can plant things in here and not have to worry about like pests attacking them. I'm probably going to end up switching my plan a little bit and putting some zucchini in here, like summer squash, and then whatever room is left, I'll probably go ahead and still plant a couple of pepper plants with it. So loving this. Okay, so about this hack that I'm trying, plastic water bottles. So I saw this video, which I will link it down below. I'm not going to go through the entire spiel. I think the demonstration is pretty sound enough, but I'll link the video where I got the idea from. But ultimately, I'm going to be using plastic water bottles. Now, of course, these are food grade, so they should be okay as far as not like causing any like severe impact to the soil. You know, there is I think the bear in mind that any plastic, when placed under extremely warm conditions, can potentially leach into whatever it is. It can leach chemicals into, you know, whatever's inside of it. I don't know if that's a thing, you know, with it being with stuff on the outside, but you know, I would say tread with caution if this is something that you end up trying. Do a little bit of research of your own. I didn't really like research it, but like I said, it's not a long-term solution. It was just something that I saw that I want to test out and see if it can help me or be of help until I figure out a more long-term solution for how I might keep these grow bags watered. But basically, all I did was, and I say I did, of course my husband did this part, we drilled a couple of holes on either side, and I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this, but there's a hole here, there's a hole here. I tested this out 2 ways, and I found that this probably will be the best way to do it. Initially I had put 2 holes like up here, and then put 2 like very small pin needle holes down at the bottom, and the holes at the bottom were just still way too big. The water was seeping out way too quickly, so we're going, you know, we threw that idea away. But with these 2 holes, all you're going to do I have a Q-tip. I'm going to go ahead and cut this Q-tip in half. I had the scissors. Where are they? I have my scissors. I'm going to cut this in half, and what this actually does is it opens up the center part of the Q-tip. Which allows, and I don't know how he cut this, but basically it allows the water to seep through the tiny hole that's inside the Q-tip, and the water will do a slow drip from this end of the Q-tip. And I thought that was pretty cool, you know, as a way when you're needing to do or have some type of solution for grow bags. That way you're not out watering grow bags every single day. And that's really as simple as it is. And then you can leave this topped off. Now, I think if I remember correctly, the guy had cut like this part, which you can do, and just flip it upside down into the bottle. If it's cut at this particular like point where the bottle starts to get to the larger size, it should fit pretty snugly inside. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it closed. When it's time to water, I'll use like a soft jet stream or something to fill this up and close it, top it back off. Now the other thing he does do, which I thought about doing this, but I want to sit on it some more, is he actually, and the reason he cut this open is he puts like raw compost. The reason he cuts this open is he puts raw composting material in there, and it allows the kind of like the bottle to serve as 2 functions, right? You have composting material which should allow worms to actually get into the thing and compost it. And then he'll put water in it to help like break it down and also water the soil and allow the nutrients to leach into the soil, you know, as they break down. So that's the way he did it. I'm just gonna do the watering for now and see how I like it. But let me fill this up so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but you can see that the water is kind of like slowly dripping down. And then of course, when you put this into the soil, it should, it's not going to slow it down. It might slow it down some because you're going to put it like all the way up to here, but it kind of gives a little bit of a drip. That way you just have a slow, steady stream of water. And I think this will work for the time being. So I'm actually going to switch this out with one that I already have kind of like sitting in place, because I was testing out the other way that we did it, and you guys can see like how I'm going to do this. So this was the one I had tried the other way. These were way too high because as soon as the water got below, this wasn't working. And then of course the drain holes were just spilling out, and then the drain holes were a little bit too high, so you end up still with just like this water at the bottom that wasn't really doing anything. And that really is like that simple. So I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can like really see. I had already created the hole and I just kind of sat it in there, but you can see how the Q-tip is kind of just sitting right on top of the soil. This one is down a little bit, so we'll go ahead and fix that. But basically, that should keep like a nice, slow, steady stream of water going in. At least that's what I'm hoping. All right, so I was attempting to show you guys like what I did again. And of course I didn't hit record, but I'm basically gonna do this to quite a few of these grow bags where I can fit the bottles in comfortably for right now. When I start to transition out some of the plants that have been in for a while, and before I put in any new plants, I will go ahead and add the bottles to the remainder of the bags that don't have them. But essentially, you can see I have two set up here. So I have this one that I just put in, and then this one, and I think they'll be fine. Because what it essentially does is, I will still water, obviously, but once I water and the bottle's in there, it's something to help keep the soil moist, not necessarily to try and water the soil if it's actually dried out. So that's the way I intend to use these. If you end up giving this a try, let me know how it works for you too. Like I said, it was something I saw. It's a solution. It's an interim solution for me right now until I figure out what I want to do with the grow bags long term, as far as like setting up some type of water system that can be effective but also be cost effective. But that's what I'm going to do for the short term, and I'll keep you guys updated on how it's been going. I'm gonna try to make use of this space here, this extra space in this bed, with some things that we can grow pretty quickly, and that'll be ready before these plants start to kind of come up and shade like all of these areas out. So I am going to be planting some more like radishes, as well as some Swiss chard and long-standing spinach. So I think I'm going to put the Swiss chard where it can get like some of this shade. It should be okay. It'll get like the morning sun. Yeah, I know the Swiss chard will do fine in like partial sun, so I'm gonna go ahead and plant a couple of those seeds. And who knows, by the time, you don't even have that many, so that's good. I can actually finish this pack. I have another pack, which is fine. But I have just a few seeds in here, and I'll go ahead and put those kind of like along this back side. And then by the time they actually get bigger, I don't think this one is any good. It looks just like a rock. By the time they get bigger, they might actually be able to survive, because they should be high enough to kind of come up this middle. I'm gonna put these icicle like short top radishes all right here. I really should have had my ruler. I have a little like ruler that I got from Home Depot that's like super cute, so that I could measure out like 1/2 inch and 1 inch and just kind of lay the ruler down that way, so it'll make my life a little bit easier with measuring. Hopefully I pushed them all in, but so basically we have like all of this like right here, which is going to be like the icicle radishes. And then I'm going to go ahead and plant the French breakfast like over in this little corridor right here. And then all I'm going to do is take this long standing spinach and just drop a couple like right here in this little middle. So I don't have anything in this little area right here. Next to the tomatoes. I have some herbs up here in the front, but I figured that'll give us a good little window, and then as the radishes come out, I guess we'll figure out what else we can actually put in there. So that's all I'm going to put in this bed.